What is going on, everybody? Thammagotcha here, and welcome into another Great League battle video where we are using shiny Lucario, some spicy Pokemon, pairing up with defense form Deoxys and Jellicent. So let's check out these battles here and see if Lucario can really hit the meta in the Great League. Amazing lead here. Medicham into defense form Deoxys. Ice Punch is all they're going to be able to throw, as Psychic and Dynamic Punch or Power Punch are all going to be resisted, and we can hit back pretty hard with the Thunderbolt. They are going to outpace us by 2 counters to the Ice Punch every single time, but Ice Punch does not do as much damage as a Thunderbolt. Look at that. 2 Ice Punches probably do as much as a Thunderbolt does, and we almost get the full farm down, but they come in with a Charizard, and we could just build up to the back-to-back surfs here. I get no shield to Blast Burn. That does so much resisted damage, because Charizard is absolutely dummy box and broken. And the first surf gets the shield. Second surf coming in. Surf. I can say surf. Don't worry about that. And can we make it to a third? No, we cannot. That's quite unfortunate. And I'm going to have to shield up this Dragon Claw here, just so I can make it to the Psycho Boost. I don't want to take that wing attack damage on the Lucario, so I'm forced to double shield, which is super unfortunate. I think if I just saved a shield for the Lucario in the back, but it's a Registeel, and this is absolutely amazing. But they, oh my goodness, an amazing catch by my opponent, and they have the Focus Blast locked and loaded to say left, right, good night to the Lucario, and that's gonna be a good game. Well played, because they are gonna outpace us here to the next Focus Blast. See you later, Deoxys, and my opponent wins a very well played game. So hopping into the next matchup here, pretty decent lead for us. We can hit for super effective damage with the Thunderbolts, whereas they're gonna have to either go for the big Brave Bird to almost one-shot the defense from Deoxys, or go for double Sky Attack. So they end up shielding up the first Thunderbolt, which is quite nice by me. I'm gonna say that this is just a Sky Attack. We no shield it because we would have lived the Brave Bird, not very we would have lived on very little health. They come in and catch the next Thunderbolt on the Como-O. Some nice spice by my opponent here. I'm going to shield this up. We're not on 1 HP, so I can survive this, just so I can get the Psycho Boost off. Psycho Boost is going to be getting that last shield, and Lucario with the shield advantage is absolutely amazing. Gonna come in here, do at least 7 counters, catch the close combat on the Jellicent, double resisted move. You love to see it. Get the farm down with the Hex. Now Lucario has energy, and this Jellicent has energy, but they catch the Shadow Ball. Nice catch by my opponent. Shadow Ball is going to be almost one-shotting this Skarmory. I'm not shielding this. I'm going to save the shield for Lucario, because we are very, very close to a Shadow Ball on my Lucario, and my opponent smartly just waits the clock out, and so do I, but we get to the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball is gonna be saying left, right, good night to that Trevenant, and that's gonna be a good game. Well played to my opponent here. Hopping into the next matchup, Bastiodon lead, pretty good lead for us. Counters are gonna be double super effective, but now in comes a Victory Bell. This is a little bit troublesome because Victory Bell can shred through the Jellicent. Victory Bell can shred through my Lucario, even resisted damage. Razor Leaf hurts. We have to get the 3 Psycho Boosts here. Can we make it to the third? We have the back-to-back Psycho Boost, but is this going to be enough? Quadruple debuffed to take out this Victory Bell. Psycho Boost, not enough to KO. Quite unfortunate. I come in with Lucario. We get the farm down, but it's a Tropius in the back, a double Razor Leaf user. You'll love to not see those. Shadow Ball coming in. That does some nice damage. I'm going to come in now with the Jellicent. I need to get to this move. Leaf Blade is not going to be enough to KO here, and they are going to try and catch the Shadow Ball, I guess, on the the Bastiodon, but that's quite fine by me. I can get to double Surf here, kind of put this into a really farm downable range where I have a shield up. I can shield up the Flamethrower, and we can farm down this Bastiodon and have a move locked and loaded for that flying dinosaur named Tropius. We get the full farm down, but my opponent wants nothing to do with that, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent. Hopping into the next matchup, another great lead. Medicham into Deoxys. Again, same game plan. Gonna go for the double Thunderbolt here. See what my opponent wants to do. I'm farming up extra, and my opponent is just going to town with the energy. Doesn't really matter. It's not really going to go anywhere against this defense form Deoxys because all they can throw is the Ice Punch, which really just tickles. But now in comes a Lantern. Little bit of a tricky situation here. It is Water Gun, which makes the Jellicent matchup a little bit better, but they have 2 shields up and they have energy advantage, so I can't necessarily swap out. So I'm gonna now come in with my Lucario and I'm going to go for a very aggressive farm down, shield once, and have so much loaded energy on the back end. Because Water Gun charges up energy very slow, we were able to get the full farm down there. Shadow Ball coming in on the Medicham, left, right, good night, and oh my god, such a Charizard in the back. The opponent saving 2 shields for Charizard, but they don't know about the water jelly ghost monster looking thing that's going to be able to get to the back-to-back serves. I could shield this move up, but I decided to let it go. I'm hoping I can now make it to 3 serves here. We'll see. We did it in the first game, but hopefully we can do it in this game. Let's check this out here. We get the surf, and I'm going to shield this move up and take out this Charizard. No, that was a CMP tie. This is absolutely brutal, but we have loaded energy on the Lucario and we make it to the close combat. Close combat is going to be saying left, right, good night to that Charizard. And that is going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent here. Hopping into the next matchup here. Defense form Deoxys and Venusaur, kind of a core breaker again. I mean, all moves are going to be resisted on the Lucario, but I can't necessarily swap out just in case there is another fighter in the back. So I'm going to shield up the first Frenzy Plane here. I'm going to go for the Thunderbolt, making it look like I have the back-to-back Psycho Boost. That does get the first shield, which is very nice on my end. I am going to no-shield this one. It's going to hurt a lot, but from here we are going to be able to make it to another Psycho Boost, hopefully grabbing that last shield. Yes, we do. And can we make it to one more? But they decide to try and catch the move on the Galarian Stunfisk. I'm gonna shield up, which could potentially be an Earthquake, and now we are just gonna farm up as much energy. And that was a CMP tie. Close combat, gonna be rocking this Galarian Stunfisk. See you later, Galarian Stunfisk. And now one that wants to come back in. Can we make it to another move before the Venusaur gets there? And we can't. And this is for sure gonna knock us out. Double debuff Lucario. See you later. We got the Psycho Boost to go though. That takes out the Venusaur. Left, right, good night. And it's a Bastiodon in the back. And this can be very scary here. I go for the Shadow Ball thinking it does more damage than the Surf, but I am completely wrong. Just go for Surf in this matchup because it is super effective damage. You're gonna see it does just about the same amount as a Shadow Ball, and it's one hex lower energy cost than the Surf. But we get to another Surf, and this Surf should do enough damage to knock out that Bastiodon, and that's going to be a good game. Well played to my opponent, and a beautiful 4-1 set here to start the video off. And we got another set for everybody. 29-51 is the elo, everybody. Ooh, Dugong lead. You'll love to see it. And you know what? We could just go for the Thunderbolt. We don't have to shield this Icy Wind. We are going to get debuffed, but Thunderbolt is going to hit this Dugong very hard. I make sure to do one counter over to not allow them to get a free Ice Shard off. And now another Icy Wind going to be coming in. This is not going to do enough to KO, but it's going to give us energy to farm down this Dugong. But in comes a Medicham. We have so much loaded energy, double debuffed. That does not do a lot of damage, but we now are able to get to the Psycho Boost to do some nice, meaningful damage. And now we bring in the Jellicent. I am going to shield this move up. Psychic would do a lot of damage to the Jellicent. And I do want to keep health, but it's a Bastiodon in the back, and my opponent wants nothing to do with that. Lucario shutting down that Triceratops. Hopping into the next matchup here. Deoxys and Azumarill. Kind of where you want to see the Azumarill. You could see it on Jellicent, but the Shadow Balls are not going to do enough, and Azumarill is just really tanky, so I'm happy to see the Azumarill here to get the Thunderbolt. We get a first shield. That is very nice. I'm going to call that this is just a play rough or an Ice Beam. Just the Ice Beam, absolutely amazing because my opponent built up to the Hydro Pump. Another Thunderbolt coming in. That does some nice damage. Azumarill is so thick, everybody. My goodness, gonna shield up this move. That would have one-shot us. Woo, good shield on our end. We get to one more Thunderbolt to go. Going on correct timing, throwing one counter over. That takes out the Azumarill. In comes a Medicham. And can we make it to another Thunderbolt? Not before my opponent throws a power-up punch, which we survive. You love to friggin' see it. And the Thunderbolt is gonna do nice damage. Now we bring in the Jellicent. They have a boosted Psychic coming in. I am now gonna shield this. There's no reason not to shield it. It would do a lot of damage. And it's a Credilli in the back. Credilli, say hello to Lucario. They want nothing to do with that, and that is a good game. Well played to my opponent there. Ninetales on the lead. If this is Charm, it's going to be a bit more difficult to deal with as Weather Ball. You can Weather Ball spam with Powder Snow, but Charm is tearing through this defense form Deoxys. I am going to throw the Thunderbolt after one counter after they throw their move, just for correct move timing here, and hoping I can get to a second one before, but they bring in a Sableye. This is not very good. Let's just put it that way. We bring in the Jellicent here to get the Surf off, and I'm really hoping that they no shield this. They no shield it, and I can just let this move go through, because we could. Oh my goodness gracious, why did I shield that? If I would have let that move go through, I could have came in with my Lucario, yielded up their next foul play, and then had some loaded energy come in. Didn't really matter anyways, because there's a Medicham in the back, and there's not much I can do against the Medicham with just a Lucario. So close comeback coming in. That's gonna get the shield, and I'm gonna top left. That's a GG's. Well played to my opponent there. Hopping into the next matchup here, another Dugong lead. You love to see it. Again, we're gonna build up to the Thunderbolt. They are gonna get their Icy Wind off, but the good thing is here is I could throw one counter and then my move to make sure they don't get a free Ice Shard in. Thunderbolt gonna be doing nice damage, even though we are debuffed. Look at that. We get to throw one Thunderbolt and get the full farm down. And how much you want to bet that they are gonna now come in with a Medicham? Let's see, everybody. In comes the Medicham. We're gonna go for the Thunderbolt here. That does not do a lot of damage, but now we get to the Psycho Boost. Psycho Boost is gonna be doing some nice chip damage, and now we can come in with the Jellicent. We're gonna shield up the Psychic, the potential Psychic anyways, just because that would do some meaningful damage. And it's a Bastiodon in the back. Bastiodon, say hello to Lucario, and we are gonna farm this Bastiodon all the way down. Have almost 2 Shadow Balls locked and loaded, and we're gonna get both shields with these Shadow Balls and have another Shadow Ball to go with the Jellicent, but they no shield it. Left, right, good night to that Medicham, and that's gonna be a good game. Well played to my opponent here. Hopping into the next matchup in Azumarill. We've seen this matchup before. I'm gonna go straight for the Thunderbolt here, throwing on proper timing to make sure I don't allow a free Bubble in. Bubble is a 3-turn fast move. Counter is a 2-turn fast move. You kind of want to throw on 7. Is going to be the best optimal move time throwing. So they throw the Play Rough. I'm going to throw another Thunderbolt here. It's not going to be enough to KO, but it's going to put them in 1 counter range. And again, this Play Rough is not going to be enough to KO me either, and I can just counter them all the way down. Have a little bit of loaded energy for that Medicham, where we get a nice Psycho Boost off. And how much do you all want to bet that it's a Bastiodon in the back? We're going to shield up the Psychic, and guess what? We are gonna come in with the Lucario if they ever want to bring in that Bastiodon. Shadow Ball coming in. Does this one shot? Yes, it does. Left, right, good night, but it's a Toxicroak in the back. It's not a Bastiodon, it's a double fighter. So I'm gonna go for the Surf here. That gets no shielded. Amazing balls by my opponent. They got cojones. I'll give them that Mud Bomb. Not gonna be doing enough to KO, and I just have to do so much Hex damage here to really put it into a range where maybe I can counter this thing all the way down, up 2 shields. I catch some Mud Bomb on the Lucario. You love to see it. 1 counter to take out the Toxicroak, and that's a good game. Well played to my opponent, and another 4-1 set. This brings me all the way up to 2991, using Lucario to bring me back almost to legend ranking. So again, thank you all so very much for watching. If you guys are liking the content, please hit that like button, comment if you want to see anything in the future, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, because we make great content here and it's greatly appreciated. And hey, you could always unsubscribe later if you are unsatisfied. So thank you all so very much again, and check out that video right there. Yeah, that one, because it's going to be a good one, and I'll see everybody in the next video.